Everything is heating up everywhere. When I came across this, I went ahead and read about it. Like, wow, how does the theory of world domination work? Why is America so into it? Why did they take action against Venezuela? And why does it look like Iran might be next? So what criteria does America use to decide which country to target? And when does the violence escalate? After reading about all this, it made me realize why Russia is so determined to keep Ukraine in its grasp, even though Ukraine as a country is barely has anything left, right? So if we understand this theory, if we get how this game works, then it's possible that we can predict things with less guesswork, like where the violence might head, where it's happening, and where we should put our money, or where we should avoid putting it. If you want to support this information, like is Iran the next escalation or not, you can do so at this QR code. Or if you want to support my channel, Money Monster, it's super easy. Just hit like, share, and comment. Chat with me, or what I'd really love is if you could hit subscribe, so when I upload a new video, we can meet again. Sound good? Thank you. There have been a lot of heated situations lately, but the place with the most intense and up-to-date events right now is Iran. The people have risen up in Tehran and in 190 other cities across the country, staging the most violent protests in years. These protests have been going on since December 2025 and still haven't stopped. The reason is because the economy is in terrible shape. People are so poor now that they have nothing left to eat. Just look at the value of the Iranian rial. If you look at this graph, it's dropped even worse than an altcoin. Back in the late 2010s, the rial was still at 70 rials to $1, but now it's inflated all the way to 1,470,000 rials per US dollar. Do you know why this happened? It's because the government sells oil. The revenue just isn't that high, but the government's expenses are huge, so they tried to fix it by printing more money. They kept printing and printing until now Iran's inflation rate is at 48%. That's a lot. This means that people holding Iranian rials are basically just holding government money that's almost worthless today, all because the government kept printing money. This is a really clear example of what happens when inflation devalues fiat currency, which is exactly what's happening right now. But anyway, we're not here to get all emotional about this or anything, because that's not really the point of this video. Here's the crucial point to understand. Iran is currently having serious internal conflicts, and the violence is happening right within their own country. The currency that's crashing is their very own currency. But then there are other countries that get involved, like President Donald Trump of the United States. He said if the violence doesn't stop, if they keep fighting, then we'll be forced to step in and take action. Take a listen to this.
The audio segment is unfortunately completely unintelligible. Due to significant background noise or technical interference, the speech does not form any coherent words or sentences. Consequently, it's impossible to provide an accurate translation or a transcription of what was said during this portion of the video. We have reviewed the sound quality, but the distortion remains too severe to extract any meaningful information or linguistic content from the source.
Another thing. It's been bothering me ever since the day Venezuelan President Maduro was dragged away by people working for Donald Trump, the President of the United States. I've been thinking about it over and over since that day, kind of obsessed, right? What I keep wondering is, why do people suspect that when America dragged the Venezuelan president away, was it because they wanted oil? Isn't it? Why are there so many people who doubt that? If you look at the numbers and everything, it really should be the case. Venezuela has crude oil underground. Even if it's underground, it's still 300 billion barrels. If they sold it at full price, that would be $17 trillion. But let's say the US says, oh, it's hard to extract or whatever, and just sells it to Trump's billionaire friends at half price, 300 billion barrels would still bring in a ton of money. That's still $9 trillion. Wouldn't that be great? They could use it to pay off public debt. So I think for the people who are skeptical, there must be some reason for their doubts. Because if America really wanted to take over Venezuela just for the oil, why haven't they done it a long time ago? It's been years. Even back when Venezuela could refine way more oil than now, before the country collapsed, before their infrastructure fell apart, why didn't America go after their oil back then? So I found some information about this, which, really answers the question. By the way, if you're curious and haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So the United States, right? It's not exactly that they want Venezuela's oil for themselves. Sure, it'd be nice if they got it. But what they really want is to block their competitors from getting involved and benefiting from Venezuela's oil. That's the real goal. If you don't believe me, so listen to what Marco Rubio said, because Marco Rubio actually said that the United States already has plenty of oil, but we can't just let China and Russia, who aren't even on this continent, come here and profit from the oil on this continent. If you don't believe me, just listen to what he said. And then there was another reason that surfaced in my mind, which really made me pause and reflect for a moment. I found myself wondering, is it possible that this particular element could be the main reason for what's happening right now? It was a curious realization that made me rethink things and consider if there was a deeper explanation that I had somehow overlooked until this point. So let's look at whether Venezuela and China are a little too close. And it's not just oil in Venezuela. They also have rare minerals, the kind that the United States wants and is eager to access. But no matter what, they just can't get to them. That's because the minerals Venezuela mines are sent to China for processing. They've had a friendly trade relationship with China, sending minerals there for processing for over 10 years now. What this essentially means is that China is positioning itself at the very center of the rare earth supply chain. China is basically acting as the middleman, effectively blocking all direct access between us and the rare earths, those absolutely vital and crucial resources my country needs. So this isn't just about wanting oil from Venezuela anymore. It's about stopping China from being the middleman and directly extracting significant benefits from Venezuela. China can't just stay in the middle anymore, especially since Venezuela is on the Western Hemisphere. China can't keep doing this. People always say, wow, Donald Trump. Can Trump really just drag Maduro out like that? Isn't what Trump did against international law? But honestly, when it comes to international law, who actually enforces it? It's the so-called world police countries. The United States is the one who enforces it. And this time, who took action? The President of the United States, right? So even international law, if no country actually enforces it, does it really mean anything at all? As for Iran, which is currently experiencing violence and unrest in the country, it's actually a good opportunity if someone wanted to intervene. And that's not the only reason. There's another reason why the United States would be motivated to get involved. Getting involved in Iran to handle certain things is actually pretty similar to what happened in Venezuela, maybe even more intense. It's all about China benefiting from Iran's resources. Just look at this. China is Iran's #1 oil customer, the top spender among all countries. And Iran, on the other hand, is the #1 oil supplier to China. More than Saudi Arabia, and even more than Russia. By the end of 2025, 23.3% of all the oil China uses will be imported from Iran. That's a lot, almost a quarter. Let's set aside the violence, chaos, and the motivations behind America's actions for a moment. I want everyone to get to know this theory I read about. It's the theory I mentioned about the strategy for world domination. Once we understand it, we'll have a clearer picture of what's happening globally. I'm going to talk about the theory called the Heartland and Rimland theories. These theories have been in existence for over 100 years because even a century ago, pioneering political scientists and thinkers were asking, what exactly gives a country its power? From that question, two distinct and influential ideas emerged. The first is the Heartland theory, which means controlling the central landmass. So throughout history, there have been attempts to control Eastern Europe, Russia, and Asia because this idea holds that whoever controls the heartland, or the center of the landmass, will have access to all the resources. And it's true. If you get the resources, you could rule the world. But with this method, just because you have the resources, thinking you can rule the world is a bit too simplistic. You might have the resources, but don't forget, the resources you get, you have to be able to sell them to others if you want to get rich. If you just hold on to the resources and can't export them, you won't get rich. That's why another theory came about, the Rimland. It's easy to remember. Rimland, kind of like dreamland. Rim, as in the edge of the land. This theory focuses on controlling the rim, the coastline, the areas that can connect to other countries for trade and economic exchange. The idea is if you control the edge, if you control the gateway to someone's home, you can cut off their trade. The people stuck in the heartland will eventually wither away on their own. The Rimland theory has actually been proven by countries like nations and countries that are landlocked, that don't have access to the sea, are at a significant strategic disadvantage compared to others. Once we understand this theory, we can better grasp why Russia is fighting so desperately to prevent Ukraine from joining NATO. If we look at the map, we'll see just how incredibly vast Russia is and where Ukraine is located, right here. And you'll clearly see that Ukraine is basically Russia's geographical rimland, which is a vital part of the heartland. Ukraine borders the Black Sea, and another extremely important location is Crimea. It serves as a critical deep-water port city. It's also a key strategic dreamland for the nation. This means that if Russia loses Ukraine and loses Crimea, it's essentially losing one of its most important and historic trade routes directly connected to the Black Sea. So this is precisely the fundamental reason why Russia has always said that Ukraine is free to do absolutely whatever it wants and be anything it wants, except join NATO. Once we view the world domination theory in this light, we can really begin to fully understand the situation, right? Why these people are fighting each other so intensely. Next, if we want to try to predict which nation the United States might choose to deal with next, it is also essential for you to fully grasp this foundational theory known as the Monroe Doctrine. This specific theory explains exactly what criteria caused the United States to decide to escalate its military interventions or attacks. And if you truly understand the Monroe Doctrine, you will gain a much deeper understanding of the patterns in America's behavior throughout the past 200 years of history. The very first individual to formally introduce and discuss this theory was President James Monroe. He spoke about it in 1823, and the idea is actually very simple. Imagine spreading out a map and dividing the world into the eastern and western hemispheres. This theory basically says that absolutely no foreign rivals or hostile enemies are allowed to deploy forces, establish colonies, or engage in any activities of a military nature, or exploit resources from the Western Hemisphere. Back then, when President James Monroe talked about what became known as the Monroe Doctrine, he was referring specifically to Europe. During that specific period in history, the United States explicitly informed the nations of Europe that if you are a European empire, don't bring your wars, armies, or influence to the right side of the world, to this side of the map. And in return, the United States would not get involved in European conflicts. That was the agreement. It sounds kind of like the United States? I'm the owner of the United States, and I'm very protective of all the land on the western side. I should have a share in benefiting from the resources on the western side. So if we want to know when America will ramp up its aggression, it's when anyone from the eastern side, which nowadays mainly means China, comes in and gains power, especially military power, or gets too many economic benefits from the western side. Because that would be a direct threat to the interests of the United States. The moment you step over to the right side, America will react immediately. Marco Rubio actually used the Monroe Doctrine theory when talking about U.S. operations. He said, "This is the Western Hemisphere, this is where we live, and we will not allow it to become a base of operations for our enemies." See, he used the phrase, "This is the Western Hemisphere." That kind of thinking comes straight from the Monroe Doctrine, and it's part of what has created the same patterns over the past 200 years of history, whether it was during the Cold War or not. The Cuban Missile Crisis serves as a prime historical example. When a foreign superpower threatens any of America's interests, specifically by interfering in the Western Hemisphere, that's the breaking point where the United States will escalate its response. Once you understand these two theories, you can really begin to grasp the strategic logic behind America's global game plan. If you look at the map, over on the right-hand side, the Western side, that's exactly where America is. Venezuela, for example, is also located over on the Western side. So if China tries to come in and take resources from Venezuela, acting as a middleman to disrupt or block the supply chain, that is simply not something that is allowed. As for Iran, it is not actually situated on the Western side, but Iran is what they call part of the Rimland theory when it comes to oil resources. Iran is a highly strategic point in the Rimland when it comes to oil. That's because it's located right at the Strait of Hormuz, and the Strait of Hormuz is the passageway for transporting about 1/5 of the world's oil. OPEC countries in the Middle East, whether it's Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, or any others, if they want to sell oil, it has to go through Iran, through the Strait of Hormuz. That's why Iran is so important. It's a dreamland, a strategic point crucial to hold. Plus, Iran has been acting against U.S. interests, coordinating closely with Russia since 2022. Iran has supplied drones and weaponry to Russia, which the U.S. strongly opposes. Essentially, Iran is supplying weapons to America's adversary, Russia. And then there's also the fact that Iran sells cheap oil to China. Plus, when they sell oil to China, they don't even use US dollars. They use local currencies. Ugh, that really makes America even angrier. Right now, the US is ramping up its aggression and desire to strike, especially since the president at the time was Donald Trump, right? All these behaviors, combined with the fact that the president was Donald Trump at that time, that makes everything that is about to happen extremely difficult and challenging to predict. But there is also a significant and distinct possibility that for the United States, the primary next target of interest could be Iran.